Professor Bemla Hunt. I'm the founding director of the Bachelor of Creative Intelligence and Innovation here at UTS. And I'm really thrilled to talk to you today about why I love this degree and why it's such a brilliant space to learn and so much fun for staff to teach into. And I want to talk to you a little bit about how transdisciplinary innovation is a real differentiator for UTS and for our graduates here in the Bachelor of Creative Intelligence and Innovation. So what is this Bachelor of Creative Intelligence and Innovation? In brief, this is a DNA diagram. It's a combined accelerated degree. It combines with 25 different disciplines across 7 faculties at UTS. So you can really see why they say that no graduate graduates the same. What is it? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? This is the most asked question at Open Day. And there are many ways of answering it. We could say that creative intelligence is about problem solving across disciplines and thinking between disciplines and across them. It's about creative and critical thinking. It's about future thinking. It's about novelty. It's about invention. It's about complexity. It's about entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship. But we could also say it's about future-proofing your learning with a transdisciplinary degree that looks towards the jobs of the future and the challenges of the future. And we could say that it creates this perfect T-shaped graduate profile for you so that you're more confident and capable of seizing those opportunities of the future, which will be radically different to the ones that are available today. So we like to think of it as an education beyond the usual confines of knowledge and something that really helps you stand out as a graduate worth employing. So we've won 3 major awards. One is the Wharton Award for Reimagining Education. It's considered the Oscars of awards. A Business and Higher Education Roundtable Award for our incredible work with industry partners. Last count, we had around 800 of these. And a Universities Australia Award for providing incredible industry relevant learning. So what does that mean for you? It means that, hopefully it means that this is the degree you'll have an university education that you dreamed of. We believe it's transformative, it's wildly sociable and adventurous, it's very exciting and richly rewarding, and of the highest quality that you could expect, and will set you up for a lifetime of opportunities. So why would you want to study something called creative intelligence? They say that today's learner is set to have a career of around 17 different jobs, around 5 completely different industries. That means there'll be a lot of adaptation and change in your life. And the jobs that exist today perhaps won't. And there will be many new ones in the future. The world, in other words, is a very different place. And so your education has to be different. Now we're living in a world that is far more connected, dynamic, networked, complex than ever before, which means that our problems are networked. And the solutions to these problems are networked. These wicked, complex problems, as they're sometimes called, happen at the intersections of our disciplines, and they require all of our disciplines to collaborate and individuals to collaborate as never before. Our world and our organizations need people to think differently, and this degree helps you do just that. So, who's it for? It's for, I would say, the deeply curious, the ambitious, broad thinker, the high performer, and the idealist and the change maker. Every single BCII student I can think of wants to make change in the world, and they have a passion for that. It's about, it would suit someone who wanted to take more risks, who wanted to think differently, someone who wants to explore unknown territories. It's also really great for those students who are a little bit undecided about which degree they should do, because it really future-proofs a single degree by giving you that broad T-shaped graduate profile and helping you understand a variety of disciplines. And more than anything else, I think it's a degree for future leaders. And I think all of our students are future leaders. How does it look taking this degree over 4 years? The first 3 years, you're doing your core degree, professional degree, and that's in blue in year 1, 2, and 3 in those rows. The yellow subjects are the subjects that you do in your summer and winter schools. Your first winter school, your second winter school, and then there's 6 of these all in all. And you might think that you're taking up your holidays doing these winter schools, but our students tend to look forward to them, and essentially they only add another 4 weeks of the year in those first 3 years. So there are plenty of weeks for holiday around those. Now you'll notice in year 4 at the bottom, there's a full-time year in BCII, and this is a capstone year, if you like. It's divided into kind of 4 streams. We like to think of these streams as follows. The first stream is about entrepreneurship, change making within organizations. The second is the serial entrepreneurship stream, where you might be starting up a new one of the ideas you've had during the course of those first 3 years. Then there's a game changer stream, where you might tackle complex challenges and decide on new narratives. And then there's a new knowledge making stream. And that's for people who are really interested in the research side of things and the applicability of that to our industries and community and government partners too. And so those are all wonderful opportunities within that final year of BCII. It should be mentioned that this is not your standard degree. It's a lot of fun. People really enjoy the different learning environment in the BCII, and we've taken a lot of care to curate and create experiences that defy the traditional paradigm for education. So we don't do exams, we don't do traditional lectures and tutorials. It's very hands-on, very practical, very creative, very much studio driven. You'll be learning through think tanks, hackathons, dragons' dens, sponsored inventions, think different sessions. You'll explore paradigm shifts. You'll explore in our methods arena, methods sandpits, where you get to explore hundreds of creative methods from across the disciplines. You'll do everything from prototyping to futures thinking in our futures arena. You'll do mapping, data visualization. You'll continue exploring cutting edge ideas from across the disciplines in our ideas arena. You'll work on real world social and industry challenges, co-created by our diverse partners. You'll be doing everything from unrestricted blue sky thinking to really tightly construed briefs. You'll be experimenting with methods outside of your domain, taking ideas for a walk, and you'll learn dozens of creative techniques to think differently, a diverse set of tools, practices, contexts, and systems to investigate, all at your disposal. And that kind of summarizes the difference, I guess, of what learning will look like for you in this degree. Now, transformational learning is key to the BCII, I would say. Today, the stakes are very high for learners and in choosing a degree today. We want our students to graduate with far more than a piece of paper and more than a job at the end of it. I had a transformational education. I'm fascinated by transformational learning as a research topic, and it's one of my personal commitments that this degree should be transformational. And one of the ways that we create transformation is by building creative confidence. So many of our students don't feel qualified for a degree in creative intelligence at the very beginning. They might not feel creative even, or describe themselves as such at the very beginning of this degree. But by the time they graduate, they certainly do. We're keen on turning students into creators of knowledge, not just consumers of knowledge. And this is a critical difference. We want our students to be confident with unknowns. We want them to take their ideas for a walk, make conceptual leaps, and then feel the flight of their own transformation in the process. Ask any of our students. This is empowering, and all of this confidence dovetails into the core degree that students do and in which they excel according to staff across the university. So what is transdisciplinary learning, and what does it look like within the context of the BCII? I would say it's all about diverse ways of knowing. It's about joining the dots between many fields to find new insights. It's about breaking down silos and siloed thinking to create new ways of seeing the world. It's about exploring many industries and many paradigms, and thereby creating many opportunities for yourself. Once again, it's about future-proofing your degree. So how do we do this? We do it through method cards, giving you methods from across the disciplines, introducing you to cutting-edge ideas through our ideas arena, helping you to explore innovative possibilities through our futures arena. So in the past, people who could think beyond disciplines and between them were happy accidents. The role that we have is to strategically create those innovators of the future who can think beyond their fields and operate and collaborate in ecosystems to transform our world in the way that we need it to transform. Industry engagement. It's the key to popularity of the BCII, and we're really fortunate to have industry fascination with the degree that we've been running and with the work that we do. So the interest has been strong. There's been a voracious appetite for the type of material we are covering in our course and the type of graduates who we are graduating. And so we have hundreds of industry partners, which is why we've won the awards. Industry partnership opportunities begin in your very first year. Your first brief will be presented to you in your first school. We'll have real live briefs with real clients in real time throughout your degree. And they come from all sectors. They come from blue chip multinationals to startups, to innovation consultancies, management consultancies, charities, social impact organizations, community partners, and so on. So the list of partners is extraordinary. Everybody from SBS to Google, Accenture, J. Walter Thompson, Arup and Oricon Engineers, City of Sydney, Macquarie, Commonwealth Bank, Lifeline, Centre for Inclusive Design, and so on. By your fourth year, you're managing your own industry partnerships, although at the very beginning you get given the briefs that have been taken for you. You're taking your own briefs by the fourth year. You're managing your own projects. And you take those projects through phases of exploration and generation, reframing and adaptation, right through to realization and refinement. So all of these opportunities create incredible real-world openings for BCII students. And we believe our students are incredibly lucky, and this is one of the reasons why BCII has been often described as a degree like no other. In our last survey, around 93% of our students had really fantastic employment by the end of their degree, and around 40 to 50% of those students were offered jobs actually by industry partners that they'd worked with within BCII. So I encourage you to look at some of the videos of what BCII might lead to and what it is that you can watch separately. Lastly, global learning, as well as industry engagement. A course like BCII has to take a global perspective because innovation is not bound by the parameters of Australia. And luckily, the BCII is attracting the attention of funding bodies and international institutions, as well as industry partners and universities around the world. So we've sent students and won money to send them off on extraordinary opportunities on global studios to India several times, to universities there, to Fiji to work on social impact. And they've been to run festivals in Europe. They've won scholarships to study social entrepreneurship in Belgium and Denmark, and so on. The opportunities are really abundant, and they're all advertised regularly on a very active BCII Facebook page, which is totally integrated with our alumni community and with our full network. So in summary, the degree is outrageously fun. It's radical. What we're doing at UTS is a world first in transdisciplinary learning. It's inspirational, it's transformative, but I don't want you to take just my opinion on this. I want you to seek out some students, come and speak to some of our student advocates and find out more. So that's it from me. I hope to see you in class if you're interested in anything that I've been talking about. And I'd like to hand over to Associate Professor Martin Bleemel, who will talk about pathways into the BCII, as well as the Diploma of Innovation as a standalone offering. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Martin Bleemel. I'm the course director for the Diploma in Innovation. Let me tell you about the Diploma in Innovation. The diploma, in this context, merely means 48 credit points versus the 96 credit points for a second degree that would be part of a double degree program. So the Diploma in Innovation is designed at the same level of qualification as a second degree like the BCII, high quality, by the way. The diploma is not a standalone program. It's only available to current UTS students, and it adds to any undergraduate degree, except for the BCII. Like the BCII, it's designed to teach you about creative intelligence, thinking really broadly in terms of complex problems, and for that forward thinking or futures thinking. And that's balanced with the more concrete of learning how to get things done and learning how to experiment small to move towards this collaborative, dynamic, constructive future. The diploma is designed to run in summer and winter sessions, so in 3-week blocks, 2 days a week times 3 weeks. So that means you can do the diploma at the same time as you're doing your core degree, and you don't have to add time to your graduation. You can graduate from them separately. You can do them a little out of sync, but they're designed to be done concurrently. And for those of you interested in the BCII, you can use the diploma as a pathway into the BCII. We'll get to that in a minute. But one thing to note is the differentiation. The diploma is not just a little sister to the BCII, it's got its own differentiator. It starts off quite similar, but then has a much, much stronger emphasis on innovation and entrepreneurship, and thinking small to get those big things done. This program is designed for any student who really wants to stand out and have that competitive edge. So it's there for the students who are interested in creativity, in creating value, in innovation and entrepreneurship. So what that means is for any student who thinks now or even in the near or even distant future, can imagine themselves working on their own for themselves, working on their own startup idea, working as an independent sole proprietor, as a consultant, but also if you're working in a small innovative company, you want to work directly for the entrepreneur, or also for the entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs are the ones who create those new products, new services, new ideas, new initiatives within a large corporate setting. And also if you're working in a corporate environment, chances are your suppliers, your consultants, your customers are also entrepreneurs. So the more you understand their mindset, the better off you are, and the more likely that employers are to seek you out. So one thing we see in year after year of the World Economic Forum's Future of Job reports, these are probably some of the world's best known reports about how to upskill and transition workforces towards the future of jobs, are that by far the #1 skills out there are the ability to think creatively, think analytically, and innovate. Cross-disciplinary collaboration easily falls within the top 10 in many of these reports too. And something else that stands out in a lot of these reports is that you're not just looking to graduate and get a job, you're looking to set yourself up not just to get that first job, but also think about the second job, third job, fourth job, that as a career segment, and the next career segment, and the next career segment. So what you're looking for are your core skills, which will get you into the job, but also these transversal or portable skills, which will help you across jobs or across career paths. And that's exactly what our double degree programs are designed to do. And more locally here with the Alpha Beta consulting company, is we're also seeing market research that shows this is exactly what employers are looking for. They don't just want your work as is, your ability to work within a cubicle on your task, but your ability to understand how that fits in the greater context, how what you do fits with marketing, with finance, with market research, with engineering, with customer suppliers, the whole gamut. And these are just some of the reports. As you see here, here's this huge selection of more reports that we've come across over the years. There's the future job reports. A lot of these skills are referred to as transversal skills because they're portable from industry to industry, from career to career. And there's the future skills report from Alpha Beta. Any one of these is available online as well too. So it's not just us saying this. The world, the global research on the future jobs is saying these skills, these graduate attributes matter. Which gets me to the graduate attributes. Every degree, every faculty has its own set of graduate attributes. Most other faculties will say, we need you to learn the disciplinary knowledge and learn how to communicate that and how to collaborate within a team of like-minded individuals towards developing those skills and capabilities. We focus on that T-shape, that layer that gets you to the breadth, to think in terms of complex systems thinking, creating value and solving problems, and doing so in a way that's interdisciplinary or transdisciplinary. So bringing together people from other faculties and other disciplines and other mindsets, and doing all of that in a responsible and ethical way. And above all, doing it in a way that's entrepreneurial. So it's not just creating value, but doing it in a way that's very experimental and agile, and learning from failing quickly. So a lot of these problems, a lot of these graduate attributes are enhanced through every assessment, every course we run, every subject we run, every industry partner we bring in, every exercise we ask you to do. Every one of them has a link to one of these graduate attributes. So everything we do is very consciously and deliberately intended to help students by the time they graduate to develop these attributes. And just on that note, we share all the industry partners across the whole faculty. So for example, we have World Wildlife Federation, Salvos, IKEA, the Bauer Foundation, National Center for Indigenous Excellence. We've had Microsoft in, TankStream Labs. So on the startup scene, we've gone to the Sydney Startup Hub, Fishburners, TankStream Labs, Stone and Chalk, CBA Innovation Lab, KPMG. There are a whole variety of industry partners that are all on the cutting edge of work practices, who really love engaging with the students. So here's the course structure. So during your core degree, typically a 3-year degree, but it could be a 4-year degree. The diploma is actually compatible with a 4-year double degree as well too. You've got your autumn and spring sessions here, but in the summers and winters between those main semesters, you can take the diploma subjects. So to start you off, we get you to explore really complex problem spaces, to understand that the challenges that you're being given might actually only be a symptom of a larger problem. So by actually staying in the problem space, you actually understand how complex that problem space is, who the other stakeholders are involved in a problem space, and how you need to integrate their perspectives in a way that the problem then, or potential solutions create value for all of them, not just for 1 or 2 of them. Then the next creative intelligence subject is one that you've got a choice of 1 of 2 different subjects, each of which provides you methods to very systematically pick apart these complex problem spaces, to think about which methods can develop more viable or more plausible ways forward. So that helps you understand, I guess, the context of a problem space, how it's emerged and where it is today. Then we recommend taking navigating entrepreneurial ecosystems, which really brings a lot of the conceptual stuff to life, to say, okay, in that context, what does an environment, an ecosystem, or landscape look like in which new jobs, new companies, new products, new services, et cetera, new value is being created? That then brings us to, great, okay, so that's got us to today, and a very concrete version of today. Now let's look at the future. Given where we are today and how complex the problem is, where do we want to move this system? What future environment do we want to get to? And how is that future environment going to be sustainable? So that is then the 3rd of the creative intelligence subjects, to get you to think really big picture. Off the back of that, dive deep again. Say, what can you do? What entrepreneurial idea or initiative can you pursue today that can get you into that context and start making a difference. But don't just stop at one entrepreneur initiative. By the time you graduate, we want you to be thinking about portfolios of initiatives to say, okay, how can you resource your initiative and activate the ecosystem around you? But also, how could you multiply that and activate multiple other initiatives? Maybe not even your own, but how could you activate other people's initiatives? So as you see, this is the subject. The blue ones are the creative intelligence ones. The black ones are the innovation entrepreneurship ones. And you can also take them out of sequence. This is the recommended structure. You can take them out of sequence to whatever fits your time schedule. These are 48 credit points together, and they happen 2 days a week times 3 weeks. So what that means is you can take a subject on some of these intensives on Mondays and Thursdays, and other ones on Tuesdays and Fridays. So you can actually take two intensives simultaneously to take the diploma in an accelerated time. A lot of the subjects are available as submajors or as electives. So if you don't want to commit to the whole diploma, what you can do is take some of the diploma subjects and use them towards the elective or the choice block as part of your core degree as well. Although obviously I do recommend taking the whole diploma. It just provides that much more of a coherent, overarching, amazing experience. Now, okay, to the pathway to the BCII, and what you'll see is the first subject in the creative intelligence stream is directly analogous to the first subject in the BCII. So this impossibilities to possibilities is directly analogous to problems to possibilities. And then the second creative intelligence subject, one of the two method subjects here, is directly analogous to the method subject in the BCII. So if you come to UTS for your core degree, then enroll in the diploma, do well in those two subjects, then you can course transfer into the second year combined BCII core and your core degree. So you'll continue with your core degree for the next autumn session, and then with the BCII by the next July. To do that, you have to come to the UTS. Your core degree has to be compatible with one of the 25 BCII degrees, double degrees. You have to complete the first two of the first creative intelligence subjects in the diploma. So that impossibilities to possibilities subject and one of the two method subjects. You have to have a 75 or higher in those two subjects in the diploma. And you have to have a 65 or higher in your core degree. Provided you've met all those criteria, then you transfer out of the diploma into the double degree of your core degree plus BCII. To do that, as mentioned, the diploma is only available after you've started your core degree. So it's available to current UTS students only. You don't enroll to the diploma upon enrollment to UTS. You get to UTS first and then apply to the diploma internally. So you do that by going to the diploma website, download the PDF application form, fill it in, follow the instructions on the website, and submit it online. And thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I do look forward to seeing you in one of our classes, either in the BCI or in the diploma, or even one of our postgrad courses. If you have any further questions, send us an email at innovation@uts.edu.au.